You're listening to the DreArea Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the DreArea Sports Show with Drew and Dre. He is Drew, and I am Dre. What's going on, you guys? And today we have a spectacular show where we're talking a lot about the San Francisco Giants and their recent acquisition of Rafael Devers, a guy I never thought that we'd be able to acquire in a trade or even get traded, period. Drew, this is huge.
Dude, what an acquisition for this team. Buster Posey just going out there in his first year as president of baseball ops and hitting a home run. I'm telling you, man, even last night in that loss, they are a completely different team with Rafi Devers. They are
absolutely.
It just completely changes the whole entire algorithm for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. And guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining us over on Patreon. The link is down below. You'll find links to Drew's articles that he writes about the San Francisco Giants or other sporting news, and also updates on the Giants and the San Francisco 49ers, all of which are on Patreon. Any clips or videos I post, you get early access by being a member of the Patrons. Definitely check that out. If you want another way to support the channel is become a member of the channel on my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under DreArea Sports. But today we're going to be talking a lot about the San Francisco Giants, and then we have some news, of course, about the San Francisco 49ers, because we are a 49ers-centric channel. But the biggest news this week is coming out of San Francisco, out of Willie Mays Plaza. Giants acquired Rafael Devers. We're going to break that trade down and also talk about the impact it's going to have on the team and on the rest of the season for the San Francisco Giants. And guys, just real quick, we are brought to you by SEATGEEK. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save yourself up to $20 over at SeatGeek.com by using promo code DreArea Sports. We're also brought to you by BetUS. Use promo code Drew loves BetUS. Use promo code DreArea Sports. Use promo code DreArea Sports, and we'll match you up to 125% on your first 3 deposits over at BetUS. It's where the game begins. That's what Drew thought when he went and used them for his betting needs. And we're also brought to you by PowerBrandSystems. Use promo code 300POWER in order to save up to $300 in your first purchase of PowerBrandSystems. PowerBrandSystems will develop and create a website to fit your needs for your small business, large business, social media channel, or YouTube channel. You want proof of their work? Go check out my website, which is nicotina.net. And that's the home website for all 3 of my channels, including DreArea Sports. Memberships are available under DreArea Sports, and that gives you access to our online community where you get access to videos, posts, articles. Definitely check that out. So without further ado, let's go to, well, it's not really breaking news anymore because it happened a few days ago, but I'm going to call it breaking news. So let's go to that right now. Rafael Devers traded to the San Francisco Giants. This was a huge deal. Rafael Devers is one of the best hitters in baseball, and Buster Posey was able to get this trade done. I fucking love Buster Posey. He's the man for getting this done. So let's break down this trade real quick, Drew. So Rafael Devers goes to the Giants. The Giants send Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs, and Jose Bello in a bag of chips. What do you think about this trade, Drew? Do you think that the Giants fleeced them?
Yeah, I do. I do. And I was very clear about that in my article. If you haven't read the article on Patreon, definitely check it out. Dude, I did not see, first of all, I have to say, I did not see this coming.
No,
and
nobody did.
I feel like I'm pretty in tune with the team. I have a really good relationship with some people that work for the Giants. This was like, they kept this way, way under wraps. Like, it was not, it didn't leak. There was nothing. Nobody knew what was coming. It was a total shock, even to the players. Logan Webb, a lot of the guys in the locker room before the game on Sunday, after the game on Sunday, were totally blindsided by this move. I think it's a great move. And here's why. Kyle Harrison has not shown that he has more than 2 pitches that are effective at the big league level. He needs to find, he's been working on a changeup. It hasn't come to fruition. He basically is up there. He's out there every day with a fastball and a curveball. And it's just not enough in the big league hitters just eat that shit alive. It's like, you know, back in the day, Happy Gilmore. It's like, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? Like they were eating Kyle Harris. It's fitting to say that because Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out on Netflix this month. But like honestly, they were eating Kyle Harrison's fastballs alive. The other night in Colorado on Tuesday, how do I know this? I was there. I saw it. He did not look good to me. He didn't look like he was at the point where he's developing at the rate that the Giants need him to. So number one, Kyle Harrison, I'm fine with him being gone. Number 2, Jordan Hicks. It's like, dude, how many chances did we give this guy? He looked great at the beginning of last year. He looked great at the beginning of this year. But then he runs out of gas. He runs out of gas before we're not even close to the All-Star break. And he's already out of gas. He's already on the injured list. He's already having to come back for a rehab start. So, like, for me, like, Jordan Hicks was a Farhan move. We'll talk a lot about those. Buster Posey's like, get this guy out of here. Get him out
he's
of here.
like, he has no commitment to Jordan Hicks. He didn't bring him in.
And he didn't draft Kyle Harrison.
Did.
And he didn't draft Kyle Harrison.
No.
Either. And I know that.
Go ahead.
I know Kyle Harrison came up. I think he was one of the highly regarded left-handed pitchers, one of the best prospects last year. I know a lot of teams were asking for Kyle Harrison last year. This year, it just has not been there for him. So for us to be able to do that, be able to, James Tibbs, okay, he was our 13th overall pick last year. Again, a Farhan pick. So Buster Posey looked at all of these guys and said,
Buster Posey,
we have a chance to get one of the greatest, most incredible, not only hitters for average in the big leagues today, but also gap-to-gap power at Oracle Park. And guess what? He already showed it last night. He split the gap in right center field for his first
like it was nothing. Like he was cutting through butter. I was like, oh, he made that look easy. And that's the thing, too, is that when you look at Rafael Devers' numbers, I mean, the guy is a perennial all-star. He's a 2-time all-star, 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner. He's a World Series champion as well. The guy's in the running for MVP, but when you look at his overall numbers for this year, the guy is on an absolute tear. Yeah, he started 0 for 16 when they moved him to the DH. Then once he got the hang of it, dude, it was like, good night, Irene. This guy was destroying them. And so when you look at his numbers, he's batting .274, 15 home runs, and 59 RBIs. He got an RBI last night for the Giants. And when they did the MLB StatCast on the amount of doubles that he hit in Fenway Park off the Green Monster, he would actually, those doubles plus the 15 home runs he already has, he would have 26 home runs if he was playing for the San Francisco Giants. That tells you alone that this guy has the strength and the power to hit this ball out not only in right field, but in center field, left center field, and left field, because this guy has opposite field power, which I absolutely love about Rafael Devers. I'll tell you right now, I was sitting on the couch, and I got an update from Bleacher Report saying the Giants acquire Rafael Devers. I thought I was fucking. I thought I was blind. I was like, wait. Am I reading this right? Did I misread this? Is it like Rafael Sanders or something? You know, some guy. Oh, he's a good DH. No, this is Rafael Devers. I was like, no way. And the guy's 28 years old. He's in his prime. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better player. And yeah, he's got a big contract, but the Giants have money. They own their own ballpark. Everything they make out of that ballpark is pure profit. If anyone tries to tell you that, this is a big contract, it's going to be a lot of money for the Giants, they're lying. The Giants have money.
The Giants have money. And the reason we know, again, just like I mentioned in the article, the reason why we know is because they went hard after Bryce Harper. They went hard after Shohei Ohtani. And they went like to the point where Aaron Judge was a Giant. Remember Arson Judge is a Giant?
Judge.
Remember John Heyman's famous tweet? Like they were going out, and they freaking signed Carlos Correa to one, $200+ million contract. It didn't work out because his physical went down the drain. And then they signed Willie Adames this year to a big contract. Okay. So this team has the money, but just think about this as you watch, as you look at this lineup now, what he does is he basically, and it's kind of ironic because number 25, the man, Barry Bonds, was actually at the press conference yesterday in the front row.
Yeah, he was.
He brings a Barry Bonds like presence to this lineup. You put him, you know that this guy is going to be in the 3-hole every single night, every day, especially if he DHs, and he may not DH the whole time. But the fact that we have a guy that we can plug into that 3 spot every single night, he can hit left-handed pitching, he can hit right-handed pitching, his splits look great. And like you said, he has opposite field power, which plays really well in our ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable, dude. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this move. I am stoked. Like watching him hit yesterday, it brought me back to the days of Barry Bonds, where nobody's at the concession stands. Nobody's at the concession stands when this guy's hitting. Like he is like must-see TV, and he's got the personality to go with it.
I was absolutely watching last night, just waiting for every at-bat by Rafael Devers. And not only that, though, but I loved seeing Jung-Hoo Lee back in the leadoff spot. Thank fucking God, because that's where he belongs. Seeing him leading off with Adames. And look, Willie Adames, say what you want about him, but he was getting on base last night. He got on base at least 2 or 3 times ahead of Rafael Devers. So he was setting him up for success. Unfortunately, on that first at bat, he struck out, which that sucked. But he had the big double, and he had the base hit in the 9th inning. So already it shows you that the moment is never too big for him. The guy can flat out hit, and this is a huge acquisition for the San Francisco Giants. I think Buster Posey absolutely hit it out of the park. And in reality, Buster Posey did exactly what the Lakers did to the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. I mean, people were comparing this trade to the Luka Doncic trade, where they didn't even shop him to other teams. They just worked out a deal with San Francisco, and there is word now coming out of San Francisco that the Red Sox originally wanted Bryce Eldridge as a part of this trade, and the Giants refused to give him up. I'm telling you right now, if Farhan is here, and Farhan somehow makes this trade happen, we give up Bryce Eldridge and everybody else, and one more player on top of that.
We do not have Bryce Eldridge anymore. But to be honest with you, dude, Farhan wouldn't have made this move. All he did was he was a dumpster dive. All he was a dumpster diver. That's all he did was go and get the scraps. No, dude, like they did this trade right. They did it right. Kyle Harrison. He just wasn't meeting up to the expectations that we had for him here in San Francisco. Jordan Hicks was not a good fit. He just wasn't. Like, he wasn't a good fit. And the other thing about this is that, like, honestly, Andrew Bailey, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, he has an extended relationship with Kyle Harrison. He, like, really, I'm telling you, he is definitely into Kyle Harrison. He's into his development. I heard him on the radio this morning. So, he is totally on board. And I think that had something to do with this. And that's why they were able to make this deal happen. Craig Breslow, the GM of the Red Sox, Buster Posey, guys that actually played in the same era, that knew each other, had a conversation. And like you said, they just worked out a deal. Bryce Eldridge was probably the first player that the Red Sox asked about. And the Giants just said, no, he's off the table. We're not trading him. And they can't trade him. And believe me, the other thing about this trade that I love is the Giants aren't done. I don't believe that the Giants are done. I think that there might be an opportunity for them to be able to get another frontline starting pitcher.
Yeah, I think so.
Or to even look at the improving the bullpen, which I know everybody loves Tyler Rogers. I don't. A lot of people are done with Ryan Walker. I wouldn't say I'm done with him. I'm not thrilled. And then Camilo Duvall's a fucking head case. So I would still be on the lookout for the Giants to be seeking a frontline closer. And I know that sounds like a big move to make, but it's something that they may want to look at.
There's a chance that there could be, like a frontline closer that you were talking about. But for me, I think that, bullpen help would go a long way to bolster that bullpen that's already one of the best in Major League Baseball. I'd say either a bullpen piece, a starting pitcher. I know we're getting Justin Verlander back today, but I don't know how long he's going to last throughout the rest of the season. When you look at the rotation, you got Logan Webb, you have Robbie Ray, you have Hayden Birdsong. All three of them are pitching really, really well. Landon Roop is also pitching well, although the last time he went out there, he got lit up by the Dodgers. But I think a lot of pitchers can say that they ran into the Dodgers and they just got lit up.
Yeah.
So I would not mind them going after another pitcher. Now, are they going to go after a frontline number one starter, number two starter pitcher? Probably not, but I think that they can get a pitcher that can fill in that number three spot to help take a little pressure off of a Hayden Birdsong. And then maybe your starting four, if you make the postseason, would be Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Hayden Birdsong, and the pitcher that you acquire. But for now, at least, we know there's still options in the minor leagues. You got Carson Wisenhunt that's still down there. Obviously, we have Landon Roop. You have Tristan Beck. You have a lot of guys. You have Wynn, who's down there as well. Still a lot of help in the minor leagues when it comes to the starting pitching. And then when you look at offensively, I mean, your biggest holes right now have to be second base, first base. I mean, Dom Smith, dude, the guy's playing phenomenal, but is he going to keep that up all year? Probably not. And he's not a power hitter, but he's batting 374 or 325, something like that. I have to look it up. But he's batting over 300. And so you're getting production out of him that the Yankees weren't getting and that you weren't even sure you were going to get, but now we are. So, hey, I'll take it. But I think that a first baseman is something that they should really be looking for, because if you can acquire a top-flight first baseman, that would change everything. If you got a guy, which you're not going to get, but if you got a guy like Pete Alonso, that would be phenomenal. But like you were saying, Rafael Devers does change a lot for this lineup. It's funny because when you look at who did Rafael Devers replace in Boston, that's the funniest. That's the funniest bit of information.
Pablo Sandoval. No,
he replaced the panda, Pablo Sandoval. I think that's him chasing him right there.
Remember when he was so fat with Boston in spring training that his belt busted?
He broke his belt. Oh, and his belly was hanging out. Poor guy. The worst thing he could have ever done was go to Boston. He should have just stayed in San Francisco. But
we could do a whole show. We could do a whole show on that, because I think the reason why Pablo left, the main reason why from my sources, was that the Giants asked him to go on a diet, basically. And to really trim down. And they had done that in 2010, and he did it for a short period of time.
He couldn't hold it up, though.
But he couldn't hold it up. Because remember, he was ousted as the third baseman in the World Series in 2010.
Yeah.
And then
he was so fat too.
He was so fat. And then he got down on his weight, and then he came back up again. So he went to Boston because the Giants were putting pressure on him, but that's another story that we could talk about.
So let's take a look at the impact that it has on the roster, or let's say the starting lineup. So here's the potential lineup they could go with. You're looking at Jung-Hoo Lee, Willie Adames, Rafael Devers, Matt Chapman, Elliot Ramos, Wilmer Flores, Yastrzemski, Bailey, who's supposed to come back today, I heard, and Tyler Fitzgerald. To me, Fitzgerald is probably your weakest link because the guy just can't hit. I think Casey Schmidt, he's not hitting. I think Casey Schmidt should end up taking over that second base spot, because I think Schmidt he's got a better bat. But last night, man, he made a huge mistake last night. But we're going to talk about that when we break down last night's game and get you ready for tonight's game, which is game 2 against the Cleveland Guardians.
Commander.
It might as well be,
You got football in your brain, bro.
I do.
Yeah.
But, look at this lineup. 1 through 5, I mean, that's deadly. And what's crazy is that when you look at Elliot Ramos' numbers, they are not that far off from Vlad Guerrero Jr. Almost the same batting average, same amount of home runs, same amount of RBIs. Like, that's how good Elliot Ramos is. And this is another guy, dude. I'm telling you, Elliot Ramos is another guy, especially because he came through last season. He's another guy that the Giants kind of stumbled upon. They knew he had potential. They knew he had power. But then he came up here because of injury, and they were like, wow, he's playing really good, man. Maybe we ought to keep him in the lineup more often. And the Giants always tend to do that in previous eras. Same thing with Joe Panic. They tried everybody before they said, okay, let's just go with Joe Panic. They even signed Dan Ugla that year, and Joe Panic led them to the World Series, and they won. But they tried to bring back Scudero. They tried to go with Dan Ugla. They tried to go with everybody else before they said, okay, I guess we'll just go with Joe Panic, and then he helped them win a World Series. Like, oh, we love this guy. We love him. You know, it's like they always tend to do this. They always tend to do this.
But that was the previous regime.
It was.
The previous regime.
It was.
And even going back to the Sabian regime, which was during that time, they would tend to always kind of, lean towards the veterans. Now, what I would say, just to
even Bobby Evans.
Bobby Evans. Just to kind of piggyback off of what you're talking about here, I think the person, the player that is going to benefit the most from Rafi Devers is Elliot Ramos. I do.
Yes,
I really believe
absolutely.
that. And you saw it last night. Ramos now doesn't have to be in that 3-hole. He's not quite ready for that yet at this point of his career, and he may never be. But now he gets to relax a little bit. He's going to get better pitches to hit. He's going to have more runners on base. He's going to have more opportunities to drive in runs, which is all you can ask for as a power hitter. And the one thing that you mentioned that is so crucial to this whole thing is the value that the Giants are getting in Rafi Devers. I don't want to put you on the spot here, but last night I saw a graphic. It was Juan Soto, Vlad Guerrero Jr., and Rafi Devers.
Absolutely. I was trying to find that earlier.
Yeah, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Juan Soto are both making more money. They're under
more money,
longer contracts. Although Guerrero and Devers are very close, but Juan Soto is 13 years. I believe it's 13 years. I could be wrong, but I know it's close to that. And they're both not producing as much as Rafi Devers right now. Juan Soto has like 13 homers and 33 RBIs. Vlad Guerrero is just about the same as Rafael Devers right now. So if there are any Giants fans out there that are complaining about this deal because of the money part of it, because of the fact that we still have 8 years and $250 million left on the contract, that is a bargain, Giants fans. That is a bargain.
Absolutely.
If you were going to go on the open market to get this guy in today's baseball.
And I'm trying to find that graphics. I actually had it up on a tweet, and for some reason I didn't save it, and I'm really pissed about that. But it goes to show you.
You're still learning.
Oh, get out of here. No, but it goes to show you that, people who are complaining about this trade, it's like, dude, when you look at the contract and how much it costs the Giants at current day, this is actually a bargain compared to what Soto was getting, compared to what Vlad Guerrero Jr. is getting. We're getting this guy an absolute bargain. And look, this is a guy that the Giants probably could not sign. If he was a free agent, they'd have a hard time bringing this guy in. Now they do it via trade. They did it. They were able to bring in Willy Adames. Now they have Rafael Devers. If these two start to come alive, which I know Devers already is, but if Willy Adames continues to come alive and they put together some big years, you're going to get more players that are going to want to come here because they're seeing what these guys are doing. And we haven't had a hitter like this since Barry Bonds. I mean, this is an absolute power hitter. He's a power hitter, but he has that kind of swagger that
got a
crazy
presence up there, dude.
But crazy enough, he has that swagger that reminds me of Pablo Sandoval, where he just doesn't give a shit. He's too dumb to be freaked out. He's just like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna smash this ball. Whack! He's just like, holy shit.
And what I love about him, dude, is he he swings. He always goes for it. Like last night, he struck out a couple times, or it may have been once, but he was like swinging. He was really swinging for the.
He almost hit, like, if he would have connected with that strikeout, that would have been gone.
I mean, he has like, and the way that he's so balanced up at the plate, like the way that his batting stance, it's so wide that he can cover the inside pitch. He can take the inside pitch to the opposite field. He can pull the inside pitch down the line, and he makes his contact is electric. Like last night, his double to right center field was 111 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah,
like,
he absolutely ripped it.
Just fucking like nuts the ball. Like he centers the ball on the sweet spot constantly. And he is, as Clayton Kershaw said the other day during Sunday Night Baseball, he's like a top 3 hitter in the major leagues.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's literally one of the top 3 hitters in this league. So the Giants now, what they have is the leeway. They have the leeway now for guys. Other guys may struggle, like Adames. I mean, he's coming out of it, but he may go back into a tailspin. And Ramos may go back into a tailspin. But we have now a guy, again, a cornerstone guy that is going to help us when we go through those stretches when we're looking at 2 runs a game. Ironically, how many runs did we score in his first game? 2. But you know what? The reason why that happened was because we were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah. But they were in the game. They were in the game in the 9th inning. They had a chance to win that game. Yes. And they don't do that without him, because he got that base hit in the 9th inning that kept them in the game. Let me the one thing that I want to show you, and we talked about this off screen. We talked about some of his splits. So when you look at his splits from this year, they are absolutely phenomenal. Oh shit. Absolutely phenomenal. In the month of May, okay, he had 104 at bats. He had 7 home runs, 33 RBIs, 22 walks. He batted .356 in the month of May. That is incredible. In the month of April, he batted in 101 at bats. He scored 22 runs. He had 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, 20 walks. And he batted .267. So you can see from one month to the next, he got better. And now he's in, obviously, the month of June in San Francisco. He's going to have to adapt to National League pitching, which I think he'll be fine doing that. But so far this month, he's batting .226 in only 53 at-bats. Those numbers should go up with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs and 10 walks. And look, when you look at the reasons why this trade happened, I mean, one of the craziest things, to come out of this trade was the news that, like I said earlier, the Red Sox did not shop Rafael Devers around the league before trading him. Greg Breslow literally just talked to Buster Posey. What is Greg Breslow? He's a former major league player.
Yeah, pitcher.
A pitcher. Buster Posey, a former major league player, a catcher.
Yeah.
It goes to show you that having a guy like Buster Posey, a guy that he probably trusts in the sense that, like, hey, you're a major league player, you know how the way the game is played, and Buster has a very wholesome sort of like, hey, I'm not trying to screw you over on this, man. I just want to get this done. And I think it allowed him to work this trade for the number of weeks that it did. Buster talked about how this trade it gained momentum, then it would die. Gained momentum, then it would die. And probably a lot of those talks centered around Bryce Eldridge. And I'm sure he pivoted off of Eldridge with Tibbs and probably adding Kyle Harrison. Because I would imagine Hicks was part of the trade talks immediately. He's like, dude, I got to get rid of this guy. I don't know why Farhan brought this guy in and promised him to be a starter. Like, what the fuck? He was not a starter.
It's like the worst move in the history of the Giants. Like
Jordan Hicks is a guy like Jordan Hicks is a flashy sports car that can go to 0 to 100 in like 3.2 seconds. Like, this car is so badass, but it runs out of gas in like 20 minutes. So you're just like, well, I can't really go anywhere with this. I can get going pretty quick, but I can't get very far. And that's what he was. He couldn't even get out of the 5th, 6th inning. I mean, rarely did we ever see him get to the 7th. And if he did, he couldn't get out of it. He'd have to be taken out of the game in the 7th because he runs out of gas. So And on top of that, the Red Sox, they designated for, or I shouldn't say DFA'd, they optioned Kyle Harrison to AAA. So you made this trade and then moved Kyle Harrison to AAA immediately. So all the Red Sox fans are fucking pissed. They're flipping out. They want Breslow's head. I saw so many memes of people like, shooting targets and everything. I'm like, oh my God. They're livid right now in Boston.
They loved Rafael Devers. They loved him. Like he had a special relationship with those fans, almost as special as the relationship that the Panda had here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, and I think you made a great analogy to the style of play, to the guy always has a smile on his face. Rafael
He
Devers.
does. He does.
But I also want to take it back to what you were saying about Buster Posey. Buster Posey has already done something that Farhan Zaidi could never do. And that is use his, like you said, his experience, his knowledge of the game, his experience as a player, which is something that I think a lot of fans and the media, they may not even realize how important that is, that he played this game and that he was a catcher. And I think it bodes really well for managers. Also, we've seen that. Bob Melvin, there he is. Look at that beautiful man, Buster Posey. Man,
he's a god.
He is so good. I was
god.
listening to him. I was listening to him last night with Kruk and Kipe. He came up in the second inning, and he is as cool as a cucumber, man. And he was able to do something again that no GM has been able to do since Brian Sabian brought in Jeff Kent in 1997. To make this kind of a move, not even mid-season, and bring in a guy of this caliber that is not only going to change this season, but is really going to change the trajectory of this franchise for years to come. Because one thing that Buster Posey understands and realizes is that the fans here deserve better than what we've seen for the last 6 years.
Yeah,
what we have seen for the last 6 years is absolute trash. What Farhan did, and I get pissed about this because I hated Gabe Kapler. Gabe Kapler, to me, was an absolute piece of crap. He didn't communicate well with his players. He didn't have the right mindset for this organization, for this market. He wouldn't listen to the people around him, to his coaches. He would just get rid of people when they didn't listen to him. I heard numerous stories about his stubbornness and his lack of a relationships that he had with his players. The players hated him. They could not stand him. And the 1 year that the Giants won, yeah, it all came together. It was one of those years, okay? It happens. But also, you have to understand that was right after COVID, and baseball was kind of coming back, and there was a transition period after that. And the Giants got lucky, man. They won a lot of games that they shouldn't have won that year, and it was an aberration. But other than that, it's been utter crap for the last 6 or 7 years. So what Buster Posey is doing in his first year is incredible, and I am so happy to be a Giants fan right now after this move. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely think so. And it's funny because when you look at the other side, there's this ongoing rumor now that Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to get traded, that the Red Sox are going to trade for Robert Acuna Jr. And it's kind of like, why would they trade their best player? Do you think that their GM is Greg Breslow? Oh, you know what it is? You must think their GM is Nico Harrison. That's why you think this would happen. Because he'd do that trade in a heartbeat. He'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I think he's
that guy, he looks like an idiot, dude.
He is an idiot.
I don't know, man. But the thing about Nico Harris is that he was also an agent, like Bob Myers. So he was
Kobe Bryant's representative at Nike. He represented Kobe Bryant. But still,
Kobe Bryant. He worked with a lot.
You don't trade Luka Doncic for whatever the fuck they got. Just like you don't trade Rafael Devers for whatever the fuck they got from San Francisco. Look, I'm a Giants fan. And I even thought, wow, what a bunch of idiots. Now, look, we know that this relationship had gone sour. It all started in the offseason when they brought in, what's his name? Alex Bregman. The fucking cheater out of fucking Houston, Fuck that guy.
Horrible move.
That guy's a piece of shit. He was a part of that whole cheating fiasco with the fucking trash cans.
Him and Carlos Correa and George, what's his name?
He was in cahoots with that. So that just shows you his integrity.
I have no time for those guys.
But anyway, they traded for him as a good defensive third baseman. And I'm sorry, but it's the communication in their planning that forces to happen. Because, look, if you're going to go get Alex Bregman, then you bring in Rafael Devers, and you go, Rafi, we love you. I don't want to lose you, but I want to bring in a defensive third baseman and utilize you as a DH because I love your bat and I want you in this lineup. But I am not going to do this without your blessing. If I get your blessing, then I will do this because I don't want to lose you because that's how important you are. Instead, they went out and got Alex Bregman. Devers was like, what the fuck? I'm the third baseman. I guess I'm not anymore, even though I just signed this massive fucking deal. And then they said, you're going to be a DH. Okay, fine. I'll be a DH. Fine, whatever. Starts out 0 for 16. Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, he's washed. And then he comes back and starts tearing up the world with his bat. And then there's an injury at first base, and they go, oh, Rafi, can you play first base? And he's like, I haven't even been playing the fucking field. Now you want me to fucking play first base? No, I'm not going to do that. And at that point, he was like, you know what? Fuck these guys. They got rid of Mookie Betts. They got rid of Chris Sale. They had a championship team, a World Series championship team that they let just fucking disintegrate. And they went into like a rebuilding mode. They went into a rebuilding mode with him as their centerpiece. But I bet you anything, he would have rather said, look, I love the contract I got, but I would rather have Mookie Betts and Chris Sale on this team right now, which they should have been. Absolutely. And why the fuck they traded Mookie Betts to the fucking Dodgers, you assholes?
And this is Boston, Dre. Like, this is not a small market.
No.
So for them to do this twice, for them to give up Mookie Betts for a bunch of crap coming back from the Dodgers, I don't even remember who they got back in that trade.
I don't remember either.
It was horrible. It was like Kike Hernandez and like some, I don't know. It was shit. And it was really bad.
To think that Boston could have just a legendary team on their hands, instead they decided to rebuild and not pay anybody when they're a team that makes that fucking Prince money. And not only that, but people got to remember this too. Before they won the World Series back in, what year was that when they finally broke the curse?
2004. In
2004, the Boston Red Sox were notorious for being a shit franchise that would always blow it, that would always make blunders like they were doing right now. And so they're really going back to their roots with this. And so that's why it's kind of like, hey, man, look. And so now the fans are trying to pivot. They're trying to say, oh, look, we got out of Rafael Devers' contract. Now we can go get somebody else. Now we can go get Ronald Acuna Jr. No, you're not. You're not. You're not getting him because the Braves aren't dumb. You think the Braves would trade him? No.
Even if you got him, he's coming off all these injuries. I mean, I just think that they made again, like Nico Harris did. It was an impulse decision, and it was I think it was Buster Posey like sweet talking Craig Breslow, and like I don't know what he did, put something in his drink or something, but like I don't know what he did, man. But like for us to be able to get this guy, it's just. Honestly, it's a blessing for our franchise, and it completely shifts the mindset for the San Francisco Giants. Because now, if you ask anybody, if you ask Sergio Romo, if you ask Javi Lopez, any of the guys that are broadcasting with the Giants now, Hunter Pence, and anybody in the front office, the expectation for the Giants is to make the playoffs now. They have to make the playoffs now.
They have to.
And that is something that I like to hear as a fan. I never, ever want to be a part of a baseball team that is just going through the motions. Yeah, we'll be happy if we're about 500. We're building. I think we're a couple years away. Like I don't got a couple years, dude. Like man, my blood pressure's high. I could pass out and die right now. I want to enjoy this.
There's the link for the Patreon if you want to join us and join me and Drew over on the Patreon, where we post articles, we post videos, clips, updates on the Niners and the Giants. Definitely check out and become a member of the Patreon. And I might even do a Niners offseason special where it's like $1. But you can also join for free as well and get access to the free content. And if you want to move up to the next level, then you get access to the more pricier content, which is more premium.
$5 a month. $5 a month.
$5. You can even get it for $3. I'll tell you that.
I'm a fan.
Okay. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a couple of things. One, we're going to get you ready for Giants baseball, which is coming up at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to talk about last night's game against the Guardians, not the Commanders, but the Guardians. And I want to talk about the good things that Farhan did for the Giants. We know all the bad things.
You sound like Marty Lurie.
You know,
A mosaic.
It's Sundays at the park. Saturday. Anyway, guys, we'll be right back. You're listening to the DreArea Sports Show with Drew and Dre, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the DreArea Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The DreArea Sports Show is brought to you by SEATGEEK. Use promo code DreArea Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by Taryn Roy, the SEO Optimizer. If you're looking to boost your YouTube channel, then check out the SEO Optimizer. Use promo code DreArea Sports to start your free trial today. PowerBrandSystems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out PowerBrandSystems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at PowerBrandSystems.
Okay, so let's talk about the good things of Farhan Zaidi and what he did for the San Francisco Giants. Okay, so if you had to name one thing that he did that was like, you know what, this is the best thing that he did do, what was it, Drew?
Farhan Zaidi, I would say, honestly, it was a culmination of things that he did.
No, but one thing you look at and go, at least he did that. That was one thing he did good.
He brought in Darren Ruff. I liked Darren Ruff. No, I'm serious, man. Like he found, okay, and the point that I was trying to make is that he found guys that came in that were kind of, again, on the scrap heap or maybe, nowhere to be found. And he brought them in and he found them, like Tyler Fitzgerald. He found, again, guys like Darren Ruff that were able to come in and make an impact on the team. But the reason why I say that, dude, is because I did not enjoy his tenure here. I didn't either. I didn't like the fact that they got rid of Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, that was a whole nother debacle. Yeah. Like, Jesus.
I thought that was a mess, bro. And he found guys. He found guys like Wilmer Flores. But the Giants are now, again, on a trajectory where they are making things happen. They are taking the initiative. And with Farhan, it was like a guy was here on Monday and he was gone by Tuesday morning. And I hated it.
Well, one of the things that Buster Posey did that I was like, dude, thank God you're in charge of this fucking team, because they asked him on the air, they're like, so, the trade deadlines are on the corner. Are you guys, going to make more moves? And if this was Farhan, he'd have been like, oh yeah, we're going to leave no stone unturned. We're going to go hard after elite talent. He was like, yeah, I mean, there's more moves to be made, but, right now we're trying to figure out, we're trying to see what we got right now, and then we're going to explore some other options, but, really try to figure out, and explore what we have with Rafael Devers and some of the guys that we have on the roster. He didn't overpromise, and that was the problem with Farhan, is that he would overpromise. He would say, "Oh, we're gonna scorch earth to go find these good players," and he'd come back with nothing, with AJ Pollock that didn't get a hit, and they cut him.
It was awful. It was awful.
That was awful.
I mean, I will say there was one move that I liked that he made, and it was an obscure move, but he got rid of Mark Melanson, and he got rid of Mark Melanson.
That was another troubled move there.
Who was, I mean, awful. But he traded him to Atlanta, and he was able to get back and clear some cap space for the Giants, and it did help them in the long term to be able to sign some of the players that we see today. I didn't hate Farhan as a person, but he just was not the right man, again, for this market. And while he was able to bring in Gabe Kapler and they had one winning season in 2021, other than that, it was a complete failure. He went back to the Dodgers. He's an advisor there now, which is where he belongs, is a Dodger. And, he's not, we don't have to worry about that anymore. The other thing that I didn't like about Farhan Zaidi, I know you asked me what I liked. I didn't like anything. I'm going to tell you the things I didn't like. He took the history away from my team. He brought in guys that we knew nothing about. They didn't bring back like players that they used to bring back. They stopped doing a lot of the ceremonies for guys that were really, highly regarded in the Bay Area. And he just wasn't he never really got involved in this community. But look what they've done already with the Buster Posey era. They've brought in Matt Williams as the third base coach. They brought Bob Melvin back, who is a San Francisco Giant at his core. And this team has, again, they brought back guys that used to play for the Giants, like Pat Burrell and Damon Minor.
Damon Minor.
I saw Damon Minor talking to some players yesterday in the dugout, and he's been great for the Giants. So Farhan Zaidi took a lot of the history away from this team and turned it into, like an analytical robot, like an algorithm. And and it was like, beep, 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 beep. This is what came out of the machine. He's going to play today. It's just like
I would say the only thing he did right was and even that right now might be up for speculation, is he drafted Patrick Bailey. And when Patrick Bailey first came on the scene, he was a good player.
Where's your sounder? Where's your sounder? I don't like Patrick Bailey.
Other than that, I mean, I think the best move he did was he acquired Robbie Ray.
That was a good move.
I mean, Robbie Ray's fantastic this season.
Yeah, it was a good move. We talked about that earlier. So it was a good move.
Yeah.
But
other than that, I'm glad he's gone, and I'm glad that Buster Posey is in charge. So let's take a look at last night's game against the Cleveland Guardians. This comes courtesy of Yahoo Sports. But here are the numbers. They lost this game 3-2, and they really could have won this game, but they couldn't get the big hit with runners in scoring position. But when you look at the numbers, Rafael Devers went 2 for 5 with the big RBI. Willie Adames went 2 for 4 with a walk as well. So he got on base twice in front of Rafael Devers. Elliot Ramos, he had 2 walks but was 0 for 2. He needs to get that back going. Dominic Smith went 1 for 5. He had a chance to really drive in some runs. I think he struck out, or maybe he grounded out to first. Yastrzemski, big game. He went 3 for 4 last night. He got 3 hits. I love seeing that. And unless they get somebody at the trade deadline to play right field, I'm pretty sure you're looking at Mike Yastrzemski the rest of the way out.
I think with Yaz also, again, it puts less pressure on him to have to perform. You can put him down in the lineup a little bit.
You don't have to lead him off anymore? Is that what you mean?
I hate him up at the leadoff spot.
Oh my God,
I love Jung-Hoo Lee. I love Jung-Hoo Lee at the leadoff spot. So the lineup is where it needs to be right now. The last night, man, they just did not get the big hit. And I wasn't mad about it. I understand that this is the long game. I'm looking at the long game now. We have a lineup that has a lot more power. We have a lineup that is a lot more dangerous to opposing pitchers and opposing teams when they're doing their scouting reports, because Rafael freaking Devers is hitting third for the San Francisco Giants. So last night was just a game, that unfortunately Dom Smith had a few opportunities. He couldn't come through. Daniel, what's his name? Daniel Jones? Daniel Johnson. Daniel Johnson, he came up at the end of the game.
He looks the part.
It was so weird, though. They cut him. I guess they DFA'd him yesterday. And then
that was weird.
And then Gerard Encarnacion, they put him on the IR. So they freaking called Daniel Johnson and told him to come back. They're like, hey, dude, can you come back? Like, are you at the airport yet?
Turn around the rental car. Come back.
Oh, no, he was driving to Sacramento. So they're like, can you come back? He's like, yeah, I'll come back.
No, I'm not.
And then he freaking pinch hit. But the other thing that we should talk about with this team is the Guardians have they've got some relief pitchers. They've got guys that can throw gas. But for tonight, I'm really excited to see, again, another opportunity for Devers to come in. He's going to be a lot more relaxed. They're not going to be wearing those ridiculously
I hate those uniforms. I mean, look,
man.
They're better than the creamsicle ones they used to have. Those were even worse. I fucking hated those. These are just as stupid, though. It's kind of like, they look like they're right out of fucking Sonic the Hedgehog, where it's like, what the fuck are we wearing here? What is going on?
I thought they were going to get better, Dre. They got worse.
No, they got worse. I mean, you look at the Warriors, like, they come up with some pretty cool looking jerseys, they're a little different. The Giants, oh my God, these are awful. Awful.
Major League Baseball in general has really, like, with their City Connect jerseys, they struck out on that idea, man.
They all look terrible. Or like Boston has that one where it's like a neon yellow jersey. It's like, what the fuck is this?
And the Padres have one. The Padres have one that looks like they're like they look like a Party City employee.
Oh yeah, it's like pink and white and shit. It's fucking terrible.
It's got like confetti on it.
Robbie Ray, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks on 5 strikeouts. He fell behind a lot on a lot of hitters and relied heavily on his fastball, and then they started sitting on that fastball and taking advantage of it. Slade Ciccone, this guy pitched like he was fucking Greg Maddux out there. He struck out 6, 2 earned, only 5 innings. That's like the league usual these days. And then the bullpen just shut it down. They didn't give up a single run through the next 4 guys, leading into Emmanuel Clase,
who almost blew the save.
He almost blew the save. He was real close.
They had the bases loaded and went out. And what, Dre, I want to ask you, because I know we don't get a chance to talk too much about individual games. Do you think that Jung-Hoo Lee on Dom Smith's fly ball to left field with 1 out, that he should have tested Stephen Kwan's arm?
Yeah, because Stephen Kwan ended up being the game changer offensively and defensively for the Guardians. I know he was 0 for 2, but he had 2 walks. He got on base twice. And
he threw behind Casey Schmidt on that double play.
Yes.
And Casey Schmidt's like, I'm going to go. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to try to score. Like,
Casey Schmidt, I love the guy, but he's just a bonehead. And he was just like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm out. And so Kwan had that throw. He had to throw against Jung-Hoo Lee where he spooked him and made him go back. I thought he should have tested him. I actually thought that, what was it, late in the game, Jung-Hoo Lee was at first base. He should have sent him.
He should have.
And he didn't. He left him at first base, and
they should have been more aggressive.
Aggressive. He should have been a distraction for the pitcher, and he wasn't. He just had him sit there at first base when Jung-Hoo Lee needs to be a base stealing threat. I mean, he's grandson of the fucking wind. Come on, man. Send him.
He weighs like 125 pounds, soaking wet, dude.
Yeah, he's a little guy. But he can rake, dude. I'm telling you, I really like Jung-Hoo Lee's game. He needs to get his batting average up a little bit, but he's batting 265. But earlier in the year, he's batting way over 300.
No, he's not the problem with this team at all.
No,
he's one of the positives. And again, another, obviously this was an incredible move by this organization to bring in Jung-Hoo Lee, because he has made a huge impact, not only on the fan base, but on the community, the Korean community in San Francisco, and his ability to get on base, which is so important. But they need to be more aggressive. And I thought last night that they should have tested him, especially in the 9th inning, knowing that Casey Schmidt was on deck and he had a hard time last night at the plate. He ends up striking out on a slider by Clase, and the Giants lose the game. But again, I feel like this team is building towards something really special.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we should kind of touch on is the Red Sox are coming into town this weekend.
Yeah.
And that is going to be super emotional, but also really cool to see Devers go against his old team.
Well, and in last night's game, I think you leave Casey Schmidt out there to bat. I mean, the only bat you had left was Christian Koss.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the answer. So you might as well leave Schmidt with that power. He didn't get it done. Unfortunately, he struck out. But the big problem that they're having right now is, oh, man, Andrew Kinzer.
Yeah.
And the other guy, what the fuck was his?
Logan something.
The Logan fucking whatever. Logan Ryan.
Paul.
Logan Paul. They fucking suck. And
Logan
it's not
Porter.
good.
Is it Logan Porter?
I think so. And then what's crazy is that they still have Tom Murphy on the roster on a 60-day injured list with a mid-back disc herniation. That guy, another forehand move that didn't pan out whatsoever.
He never played.
He never played. They got rid of Joey Bart because they're like, well, we still got Tom Smith or whatever the fuck is it, Tom Murphy.
Horrible move, dude.
Horrible move. And then you got Patrick Bailey, who I think is coming back tonight, if not tomorrow.
Yeah.
If he can turn it around, I mean, the guy's batting 185. Barf.
But I will say, Patrick Bailey, he will bring. I think our pitching, especially our starting pitching, has been flipping a little bit. And I think Patrick Bailey has a lot to do with keeping our, just like Buster Posey did when he was in his prime, keeping the pitchers in line with those pregame meetings and his arm, his ability to slow
his
down the
defensive ability at the catcher will make a huge difference out there during the game. And that's one thing that I'll be happy to see him back out there. Because at least you have a guy who could throw a runner out at second. The other two guys, I mean, it might as well be you and I throwing to second. It was just like, whoa.
But honestly, Dre, when's the last time you've been excited to watch Giants games?
Exactly.
Like really excited.
The last time I was excited to watch a Giants game was opening day. Yeah, I'm excited every year for opening day.
And then it just kind of fades away because they didn't have the gravitas and the players to be able to pique our interest, especially with everything that's going on with the NBA, with the playoffs this year, and then even the NFL draft, free agency. Baseball just gets completely forgotten. And then when baseball season starts to get hot and it gets going in the postseason, you've got the NFL starting. So what this move does is it brings the interest back to San Francisco Giants baseball. And it makes me like in an hour and 45 minutes, dude, I'm excited to watch this game tonight. Like really excited to see his at-bats. Because I want to see the big guy. I want to see what he looks like.
And that quickly, the Giants have lost 3 in a row. They're 3.5 back of the Dodgers. And look, are you going to be chasing the Dodgers all season long? Probably not. The Dodgers are a team when they get back, Glasnow, now they got Ohtani back pitching. When they get healthy again, they're just going to pull away and just be the Dodgers. So really, you're going against the San Diego Padres trying to get that wild card spot, which I think now they really can't compete with the other wild card teams. Looking at the wild card right now in the National League. Oh, that's not.
You're gonna pull that up, big boy?
No, I have it on a little side thing, so it doesn't even look good if I brought it up. But the wild card right now, there's 3 teams. They have the number 2 spot in the wild card, so they're in there with the Phillies.
I think that Andre. I think that this team now, again, the expectation is that they will be a wild card team.
Absolutely,
that is the expectation. Is that they are better than the San Diego Padres because of this move. Now, having said that, things can change before the July 30th trade deadline. Well, we'll see what that looks like. We always know that the Padres are active during that time of the year. But for now, I think the Giants are a leg up on San Diego. I think that they can even compete with teams like Philadelphia. I think they can definitely compete with teams like Milwaukee and St. Louis, who are also going to be vying for those wild card spots. And I mean, right now, the New York Mets, even though they've lost a few games in a row, they look pretty good for the division. And then a team like Arizona, who you cannot forget about because of their offense, and we've talked about that on the show. I think the Giants also have a leg up on them now, too. So this just gives them, again, more length in their lineup. And I don't think the Giants are done. I think they will be going out. They may even go out and look for a catcher. We don't know.
They need catching help bad. They need a catcher.
Buster Posey is not going to be shy.
I think Buster Posey is going to suit up and he's going to start catching for the Giants.
He might.
Give me the damn bat. Do it myself.
Yeah, because Andrew Kinsner and Logan Porter and And even Patrick Bailey, I'm sorry, dude, it hasn't been good enough this year.
It has not been good. It has not been good. So, guys, we're going to take you up to Giants baseball. So tonight you got the matchup of Justin Verlander versus Logan Allen, not Logan Paul or Logan, whatever the fuck his name was, but Logan Allen. Sorry, I got my throat ever since that strep throat.
He's got a frog in his throat.
I'm all out of water.
Have your wife bring it to you. Oh wait, she's mad at you.
She's mad at me right now. Looking at the lineup, and this can't be the lineup. It's not, right?
What are you looking at, dude?
This is on Yahoo. I think it's just a roster. No starting lineups.
Yeah.
Because they got, I bet you Logan Allen might be a lefty. So they have Elliot Ramos leading off. I hate when he leads off.
You trust Yahoo Sports?
Well, this is what we're looking at least. Patrick Bailey is back in the lineup, so to me that's a good thing. Casey Schmidt will remain out there, even though his right leg is completely destroyed after 2 straight injuries. But he's out there. He's a gamer. He's out there playing. So
he's just like done,
what do you expect out of Justin Verlander for the rest of the year? Do you think he can pull it together and be a viable starter for the Giants, or is he just on borrowed time?
I like what I've seen from Verlander this year. I mean, I wasn't as down on him as some people have been. I felt like he had a few tough luck starts. He had a great start in Anaheim, an amazing start there. He went like 6-7 innings. He didn't give up a run, and then the Giants came in and Ryan Walker blew the game.
Yeah.
And, it's like that can really play with a pitcher's head, especially when he is thinking about wins at the end of his career. It's something that he's looking for. So I thought his velo has been pretty good. He was around 95, 96 miles an hour. He looked, from what I've heard, he seems to be in good spirits. He had some pretty good, he's looked good in his rehab start. So I don't see him struggling tonight at home. I think tonight is going to be about the Giants offense. I think tonight, especially going against Logan Allen, I think Devers is going to feast on this guy. I do.
I hope so.
I think he's going to feast. I think that Ramos, should have a really good game tonight. And Yastrzemski and Lee have been getting on base. If they keep that up, all we need is a few clutch hits. I think the Giants win this game tonight, and I think they win it handily.
All right.
Yeah.
I think they win as
I'm
well.
confident.
They should have won last night, but we'll see how that shakes out tonight. Giants play the Guardians in San Francisco at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time.
And they need
Verlander against Logan Allen.
And Andre, they need to get some momentum now, because sometimes in sports, we've seen this. You get a new guy, and it does take a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of adjustment for a new player to come in and just get acclimated. And also, there's a lot of emotion. There's high emotion, and it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of the players, and it probably took a lot out of Rafael Devers yesterday, coming in, doing a press conference in the morning, all of that. So I think he's going to be a lot more relaxed today and tomorrow. And then the Red Sox come in, and his eyes are going to his eyes are going to be like this big, going against the Red Sox, dude.
Oh, yeah, knowing that, what's his name? Braslow or
Craig Breslow.
Breslow is going to be
John
in a box
Henry.
Somewhere. He's like, I can't wait to show you guys what you're missing out on. And what exactly are they missing out on? Well, let's take a look at Rafael Devers' first hit from the Giants.
Driven into the gap, and nobody's there, and Devers off to the races.
He should have went to third on that, dude.
He's a big boy. I don't think he would have made it there.
But look at that. Look at the energy. I mean, it's he's just.
I mean, look at it.
Oh my God,
That's beautiful.
I think he has one of the sweetest swings in baseball, and he reminds me. The reason why he reminds me of Bonds is because he waits. So what he does up there is he doesn't swing until he needs to swing the bat. He's never out in front of a pitch.
Yeah.
And that's why he hits the ball. That's why he has such a highly successful rate of hitting the ball to the opposite field.
Yeah.
And hitting the ball out of the ballpark to the opposite field, because he's letting the ball get deep in the strike zone. And then, that's why he makes such good contact. So this guy, it's such a thrill to have him in the middle of our lineup during batting practice last night. All of the players were like, they were behind the cage, including Barry Bonds, and they were just mesmerized by this guy.
Yeah, well, the guy's amazing. So
it's so
and
cool,
look,
man,
they brought everybody out. The team was there for the press conference. So look, he's feeling supported. He's feeling loved here. So let's see how it plays out tonight at 6:45 p.m. over at Oracle Park. I still call it Pac Bell or AT&T or SBC, whatever you want to call it. They'll be playing there tonight.
I call it AT&T Park a lot.
Roracle, remember that? That was the Warriors.
This one's not Roracle.
The ceiling was right on top of you at Oracle.
That arena was incredible. I've never heard anything, and I don't know. You could ask other people that have been there, but Andre Kirilenko's Baron Davis's dunk on Andre Kirilenko, your brother-in-law, my friend, we were there together. That is the loudest arena I've ever seen in my life. I've ever heard in my life. I couldn't hear myself think. That whole series,
he shit all over him.
That series against Dallas, that we believe, and then the Utah game. Oh my God, that was incredible.
Absolutely, guys. We have 110 watching right now. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on X, make sure you follow this account on X, as we're live every week talking 49ers, San Francisco Giants, Golden State Warriors, and in fact, right now we're going to switch gears to the San Francisco 49ers because we got a bunch of dates coming up that we got to keep our eye on. Let's go to that right now. So the NFL has announced that the official training camp for report dates for all 32 teams, with camps set to begin in July. Okay, so for the Niners, rookies will report. Rookies will report to camp on July 15th, while veterans are scheduled to arrive on July 22nd. They get 7 days to kind of show up. Joint practices set with the Broncos and the Raiders. Denver Broncos joint practice will be on August 7th in Santa Clara, and then the Raiders will be on August 14th in Henderson, Nevada. So July 15th is when the Niners take the field again and start getting ready for the upcoming season, the 2025 season, which I am so excited for. This news comes courtesy of our SF Niners. My good buddy Raj, I'm going to schedule another show with him. The other day was badass. Another breaking,
great, by the way, I love him.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's so good.
Such a cool guy too. And then so now we have the date. So we know July 15th, which I'll be camping at that time, of course. I won't be around, but I will be around a day after that. So stay tuned for that. But we know July 15th is when the rookies report to camp, and then on the 22nd, all the veterans should be arriving there, and it's going to be nonstop coverage of the 49ers here on the DreArea Sports channel and on pretty much every channel that covers the Niners on YouTube. Some more breaking news that came from Adam Schefter was that Jair Alexander, a guy that was linked to the 49ers, has actually signed with the Baltimore Ravens on a one-year deal for $6 million. This is a really good deal for the Ravens, getting him on a one-year deal, $6 million. This is definitely a deal that this guy signed as a way of saying, hey, I'm going to try and win a Super Bowl with you guys. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you that 1 year, $6 million, not a lot of money. And so, and this is a guy, too, that's only played in 7 games in the past 2 seasons. 7 games, so 14 in the past 2 seasons. So he's had a lot of injuries.
Not a lot. He hasn't produced a lot, but I think it's a great move for the Ravens, especially like you said. I mean, that team, if there's one team in the NFL that has a lot of pressure to win, it's the Baltimore Ravens, because Lamar Jackson and their defense has been solid the last several years, and just the way that they've imploded in the postseason, I can't think of a team that has that much more pressure. Maybe the 49ers to still win a Super Bowl in their window right now.
Yeah, and I would say the Bills as well, but they're such a loser franchise that they're used to losing, so they just kind of get over it within a matter of minutes. Because I mean, look, they lost 4 Super Bowls. I mean, if there's any franchise that knows what it's like to lose, it's the Buffalo Bills. But in any event,
and they got nothing else in Buffalo to
there's nothing else there.
There's nothing else in Buffalo, especially in the summer. I mean, there's nothing going on in the summer there. And then they will always adore the Buffalo Bills no matter what. Like they're one of the best, along with Green Bay, who Alexander ironically left from, one of the best franchises in the NFL because of their fan base. And they're actually moving in to a new stadium next year. So they're always going to have their fan base no matter what happens.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like you said, there's not much going on out there anyway. So they're like, oh, we can either root for the Buffalo Bills or go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay, another post that I wanted to bring up that I think has some relevance to the Niners. I mean, look, when it comes to Jair Alexander, is he a good corner? Yeah, I think he's a good corner, but he was not the right fit for San Francisco. I don't think they were even going to entertain bringing this guy in because they have their two outside corners in Demo Lenore and Renardo Green. And from all the signs that are pointing from the OTAs was that Upton Stout is going to be their slot corner, the guy they drafted. They're really high on him, and I think that's the guy they're going to go with. So to bring in a guy like Jair Alexander, you'd have to move probably Renardo Green to the slot, and then you have to change things around. So I think not pursuing Jair Alexander was a smart thing for the 49ers. However, going to this post, I do think going after a guy like Justin Simmons would be a great move for San Francisco, only because you got Jair Brown, who's still dealing with a little bit of injury, and you got Malik Mustafa, who won't be ready by week 1, probably won't be ready until week 3. And so getting a guy like Justin Simmons in there, a veteran safety, I think this would be a great move for San Francisco. And let's say you start the year with him, that is Justin Simmons and Jair Brown out there as your two safeties. If Brown shows signs of playing the way he did last season, then you can easily put Malik Mustafa and have him replace Jair Brown and go with Mustafa and Simmons out there as your two safeties to give you more depth. And I think this is a great move for the Niners if they were to make this move.
Potentially having kind of a backup plan to Jair Brown, who, man, we've seen the ups of Jair Brown, we've seen the downs big time, especially last year. I think Justin Simmons would be a great fit for the Niners, and if he's available and if the price is right, I have all the faith in the world that John Lynch will do everything in his power to make sure that the secondary is legit going into this season, because the one thing they don't want to see again is the secondary let them down. The secondary has let this team down year after year. It has happened, and when it happens, it goes very badly for this franchise. And teams just start. I mean, it's like honestly like wildfire out there, the way they pick you apart, and it just can't happen this year. That cannot be the reason why the 49ers fail, is our secondary. It can't be.
Well, and because you have all this inexperience at the defensive line, guys like Alfred Collins, CJ West, Michael Williams, you have a lot of inexperience at the defensive line. Having more experience in the back or in the secondary would help them immensely. And not only that, but you're going to have Fred Warner, who's like basically the equivalent of Superman running around out there. But at the same time, you're going to have probably D. Winters and Nick Martin out there who are still lacking the experience that they had with Dre Greenlaw. So getting a guy like Simmons is only going to be a benefit for San Francisco. CBS Sports had this to say about the idea of the Niners acquiring safety Justin Simmons. He says the 49ers spent much of the offseason shedding salary, including by letting Talanoa Hufanga sign elsewhere. But with the projected starting safety, Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa both nursing injuries, a one-year partnership would make sense. And I think it would. And, when you compare this and say, why would they sign Justin Simmons if they didn't sign Talanoa Hufanga? Hufanga had injuries. He had massive injuries every single year. And so because of that,
stay healthy.
Yeah, he's not a guy who's going to be in your lineup every single or in your
he's not
starter every week.
He's not Troy Polamalu.
He's not. He's not.
I think that was evident from the beginning. Like, he had, obviously his rookie year was amazing and he showed promise in his second year, but now that this is 2-3 years in a row of injuries and not being out there on the field, and we need our guys. So Simmons is a reliable guy that can be out there for you every week.
And the last thing I wanted to bring up when it comes to San Francisco, because right now we are kind of in the dead zone when it comes to 49ers news, is the talk about Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart is not signed by the Cincinnati Bengals. In fact, I did a post where I said, should the Niners go for Shamar Stewart? Out of 19 votes, 63% said no, they shouldn't.
Ooh.
I think they should. I think they
Tell me why,
absolutely
Andre.
should. Because here's the thing. This guy is a first-round draft pick, a guy that San Francisco was debating on drafting from the start. The guy has the size and dynamics of a Myles Garrett. Now, he's definitely raw, but you can never have enough defensive line help. And I think that if you were able to make a move where, let's say you give up a day 2 pick for Shamar Stewart, then you're adding more depth. You're adding a guy that's going to be cheaper than, let's say, people are saying, why don't they go after Trey Hendrickson? Why don't they go after TJ Watt? Those guys are going to cost a fuck ton of money because they want extensions. And the Niners aren't going to give these guys massive extensions. But I think they could sign Shamar Stewart. And I imagine, and imagine having a NASCAR package of Nick Bosa, Shamar Stewart, Michael Williams, and Bryce Huff coming at the quarterback. That is deadly on a 3rd and long. My God. And not only that, but then you're giving yourself more and more depth at the defensive line position with young, high ceiling talent. I would be on the phones immediately trying to get Shamar Stewart away from the Cincinnati Bengals. He's upset. Their relationship is going south. He doesn't want to be there unless he signs that contract. I think similar to what we just saw with Rafael Devers, I would be jumping all over this and trying to make this transaction happen before camp starts.
Yeah, and I like the point you make also about Trey Hendrickson, because he's a guy I know that has been on the Niners' radar, and another disgruntled, unhappy. So I don't know what the hell's going on in Cincinnati. I don't know, if it's something to do with the GM or whatever the hell's going on with their finances and their budget right now. But this is an opportunity for this team, the 49ers, to get, again, more depth and realize that, because what happened last year? We had injuries. We had so many injuries at the defensive line position that it became to the point, Andre, where the Niners were putting guys out there from the practice squad.
Yeah.
And it just we became a second tier defense last year. And it showed. Teams were just running the ball on us. I mean, look what the Arizona Cardinals did against us last year. I mean, do you remember what that looked like? That game?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you realize, like, I believe it was Connors. I mean, it was nonstop. And they were getting pushed off the line, completely pushed off the ball on a weekly basis. And they had no chance. So to be able to get some of that depth, I think, would be crucial for this team. And if they can do it before training camp, that would be even better, so that they have people in line before they get to that July 22nd mark.
I think you can give up a day 2 pick and a 5th round pick as well and get this guy and take him off their hands. This is the problem when you're dealing with a poverty franchise like the Bengals, who have spent so much money on Jamar Chase, so much money on Joe Burrow, so much money on T. Higgins, that you got Hendrickson, who wants a contract extension. They haven't given it to him. Shamar Stewart wants a certain type of contract. They haven't given it to him.
Well,
and
the same thing happened with the Niners to a certain extent. Okay.
Yeah.
The same thing happened with the Niners, right? Nick Bosa, he got paid, right? They paid Fred Warner. They paid George Kittle. And what happened with Deebo Samuel? Deebo Samuel's like, this isn't going to work for me. Like, this is not the place for me, because these wide receivers, they want their money. Brandon Ayuk, he's still disgruntled. He's still talking shit. He's still posting cryptic crap on Twitter. So on X. So we have to understand, Dre, that the nature of the NFL is that a lot of times you see franchises pay their offensive players first. They will pay their offensive players first. But a team like the Bengals that has one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they are still not really competing on a yearly basis because their defense is so inconsistent.
They're a poverty franchise. And now they've dumped all this money into 3 offensive players. And really, like, they should have got rid of T. Higgins. I would have traded his ass.
I would have
and then used that. Yeah, exactly. And I would have given that money to Trey Hendrickson because you need to have that staple on defense. So they got to figure out what they're going to do. But I think the Niners should make a call and see what they want, or if it's impossible to start negotiating for Shamar Stewart. And you think about this, if they acquire Shamar Stewart, now you have 2 potential top 10 draft picks on your team from this past draft. So that in itself is incredible. And I think the Niners would benefit from having Shamar Stewart because you need more depth at the defensive line. I love Sam O. You know, I like, what's his name? Evan Anderson.
Yeah.
But you can throw in you can package a day 2 pick and put in Robert Beal and probably Jordan Elliott and get a guy like Shamar Stewart. I would do it. Get rid of those bums. Bring this guy in.
Yeah,
give them some more depth. And let's go.
Stop bringing in kind of, mediocre players to fill the gaps. Stop using mediocre or practice squad players to be there for depth. No, bring in a guy that is, again, a top 10 pick, a guy that we know who he is. And John Lynch, if you're listening right now, man, pick up the phone, dude.
He's listening right now.
Andre's got the answers for you.
Yeah, I wish. Shit, man. But
Andre ends up getting a job in the front office next year. It's like, shit.
Oh, yeah. That'd be great. I could move the Bay Area, pay hell money just to get a house. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for the show. I want to thank Drew for coming out here. Of course, I want to thank everyone in the chat who came out. Tommy Huxley for dropping some comments on there. Guys, let us know what you think about these topics, about the Giants, about the Niners. Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining us over on Patreon. You get access to news and updates from the Niners and the Giants, along with Drew's takes, his articles that are going to be on the Patreon, and early access to videos and clips that I post on YouTube. You get them early on the Patreon. Another way to support the channel is just go to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under DreArea Sports. It's the home website for all 3 of my channels, which I'm actually going to redo that website, so it's geared more towards DreArea Sports, so keep that in mind. But Drew, take us out of here with some parting words.
It's been great. It's been a great week for the Bay Area. I think this Devers move, it's going to change the dynamics of this franchise for years to come. And I cannot wait to get out to the ballpark and see this guy hit. I'm going to be out there next week, probably on Wednesday night after we do our show against the Miami Marlins to see this guy, because I'm telling you, man, he's electric. And the Bay Area, everybody in the Bay Area, baseball fan or not, we're all going to fall in love with this guy. So
absolutely
tune in tonight. And all you guys out there, let us know what you think of this deal, because I'm really curious to see, is there anybody in the Bay Area that thinks this was a bad deal? Is there anybody that thinks that, because the one thing that we didn't really talk about during the show, what if Kyle Harrison, what if James Tibbs, what if they become superstars? Then how does this get kind of looked at for the future? Remember when the Giants got Carlos Beltran in 2011, we gave up Zach Wheeler and he became a frontline starter for years to come.
It took him a while to get there, though. It took Wheeler a while to get to where he's at now.
It did.
But no, he was really good. And of course, who could forget the AJ Brzezinski trade where he traded Francisco Liriano, Joe Nathan, and Boof Bonser. That set them back almost 10 years. That was such a horrible trade.
So I'm really curious to hear if there is anybody that has concern about this deal. But I'm telling you, man, at least for this year and for I would say for the next several years, we're going to fall in love with Rafi Devers.
Absolutely. I'm ecstatic. I'm stoked. I can't wait to watch the game tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time at Oracle Park. Giants, Guardians, Rafi Devers, Justin Verlander. It's going to be a lot of fun. Justin Verlander
throws his second pitch.
Oh, he's hurt. He's down. He's down.
He's out again. And you know what? If that happens, Another guy that we didn't talk about a lot today is Carson Wisenhunt. And I think that Giants fans, if you're excited about this deal, just wait until you see Carson Wisenhunt. He's coming. And Bryce Eldridge, he's also coming. Maybe not this year, but he's coming soon. And
I think he's coming this year. I think he's coming. I know I'm tired. I think he's coming this year. But that's just me. But we'll see what happens, guys. Like I said, if you want to support the channel, join us over on Patreon. The link is down below, or become a member on my website, which is over at nicotina.net. The link is down below in the description. And from Drew, from myself, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next week for another episode of the DreArea Sports Show with Drew and Dre. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under DreArea Sports.